Okay, welcome back to another video today, YouTube. It's been a little bit of a while since I've done a photography related video. I've been making a lot of vlogs also on this channel. I like to mix a little bit of the two so that way you guys get a little bit of my personality in real life and then a little bit of my personality throughout my work. I hope you guys are enjoying it. As you can tell by the title of today's video though, we're gonna be talking about my monthly photography favorites. I've seen other photographers do this, and in this past month and some change, I've copped a couple of things and I'm really excited with some of these purchases, some that I've used, some that I'm planning to use, and I just kind of want to share that with you guys. So with that being said, let's get into the first thing. Let's talk about gear. First things up is this right here, the Voigtlander Bessa-R. I did a video a couple weeks ago shooting some Ultramax in it, and that was the first time that I developed film from this camera. And I still have a roll of film that I've just kind of been letting go through every now and then. When I go out, I take it with me. But I really like this camera, and there's a few reasons why. It's my first full rangefinder camera, so just learning that whole new system has been so different for me and so different from how I'm typically shooting. Instead of just shooting very quickly, with this type of camera, you take a lot more time to just really get the right composition. And sometimes that's to your benefit, sometimes it may not be, but it just all depends on what you're shooting. These are some of the photos that I've taken with it when I was shooting it, and granted, they're not all perfect, but that's just the art of photography. It's not always gonna be perfect. And it's really one of those cameras that can honestly last for such a long time as it's already have. So it's definitely something that's gonna stay in my collection. Number 2, I bought some more Kodak Gold. When my girlfriend and I, we went to Mexico this summer, I shot Kodak Gold in my Nikon L35 AF, and honestly, those are some of the nicest pictures that I'd ever taken. It gave me that full, 1980s, 1990s look when it comes to, image quality, just that whole aesthetic. I really love the way that color looks in this film. And it's definitely something that I plan on using a lot more. And so, I bought a couple rolls just to have, because I do plan on taking it with me when I go to New York at the end of this month. And I'm gonna literally just shoot that the entire time, and I honestly cannot wait. Another film that I got is this right here. This is Sinistille's Red Rum film. I've never shot this film before. This is not anything that I'm used to shooting, but I looked at some of the images that this film is supposed to produce, and I'm so excited. That's probably gonna be the next video, or maybe the one after that. I'm gonna take this film out with my Mia and hopefully get some of these nice photos, because the way that they looked online, it looked amazing. And honestly, it just has that that nice red tint. It seems like it does really well with a lot of light in the back, especially in a dark setting that has a lot of light, like maybe a tunnel or maybe a light post or even a gas station. It's something that I'm really excited to be using very soon, and I can't wait to share that with you guys, because they said that they were selling it only for a limited amount of time. And so when I got the email, I was just like, you know what, why not? I haven't really seen anybody else try it, so why not be the first one? Maybe show you guys a little bit what it looks like, and the next time that they drop it, maybe, who knows, maybe it'll be one of the more popular ones. And the last thing when it comes to, I guess, gear is honestly this Sony A7 III that I'm using to actually record me right now. Ever since I started taking film, I've been very hesitant on taking digital photos. I kind of stepped back from it, which kind of made me fall out of love with it in a weird way. But I help a local car club in the city, and I've been working with them, and I've been taking a lot of photos on my digital camera, and it has been amazing. It really showed me what it was like to start shooting with digital again. And now I'm just it's just amazing. Shooting a little bit of digital, it's been a good, change of pace, because with film, you're a lot more slow, taking your time, looking at your composition, making sure it's perfect. Whereas with digital, you can be a lot quicker, you can catch events a lot faster. And sometimes, I really like the sharpness, even though when it comes to film, I like the fact that it's sharp, but it still has that graininess. Sometimes with digital, it's so nice to have that sharpness and that crisp look. There's a perfect balance when it comes to photography. You have to have your days where you like your film, and then you have to have your days where you like your digital. And this has been a couple of weeks where I've genuinely enjoyed shooting digital, and I've enjoyed some of the photos that I've been able to get with it. Up next, let's talk productivity. Next up on the list is my brand new 2021 iPad with the Apple Pencil. Honestly, I never thought I'd be the one to, want to get an iPad. But then I started working a lot and I noticed that I was taking a lot of notes. So I decided to, stop using all this paper because I was not only taking a lot of notes, but I was losing a lot of notes. And I decided to buy an iPad with an Apple Pencil. And once I started using it, I fell in love with it and I realized why everyone loves having an iPad. But then I started to realize what it can do for my photography work as well. Sometimes with photography, I'm extremely nitpicky. I like to open up my pictures, look at different areas, circles, points where I didn't necessarily love, or certain things that I would want to change, or certain things that I did like. And this has been amazing with that. If you're a photographer, you like to have something on you where you can quickly look at your photos, just quickly analyze your own work, or just, sit down and watch some YouTube videos. This has been really, really good. I don't have any of the Adobe Photoshop suite or anything like that on it. I don't want this to be like my primary place of work when it comes to editing and touching up my photos, but it's a really good thing to have if you kind of just want to maybe take some notes, or maybe plan out a YouTube video, or plan out, a photography shoot. It's just honestly been one of the better purchases that I've made, and it's been one of the best purchases that I've made in this past month. Now let's move into the third section. Let's talk photography books. So in a previous video, I touched a little bit about some of the books that I purchased, but I bought 3, and I'm gonna start off with this first one right here. This is Gunnar Stahl's Portraits. Gunnar Stahl is a famous photographer, and he's really known for a lot of his work around musicians and hip hop artists. He's at some of the craziest events, and he takes some of the most candid portraits of some of the people that we love to watch and listen to the most. And that's what I really like about this book. Huge thing when it comes to me and taking my pictures. I love getting pictures of people when they're candid or in their very much of their natural element. And he does a really good job at that. And in this book, it really helps you get some inspiration, especially if you are shooting 35mm and you just like to have a quick camera on you that's grab and go, and you're taking those nighttime flash portraits. His work is just honestly his own version of art, and it looks really, really good. And honestly, he's just, very inspiring, being a Black photographer, being a young photographer, and achieving all of the things that he's already achieved in the industry. It's been really cool to look at, and this book is only just a glimpse of his work. Honestly, if you really want to check it out, I'd recommend just looking him up online, going and maybe, scrolling through his Instagram page, because this is a really good book and he is a really, really good photographer. The next book that I want to really talk about is called Hip Hop at the End of the World by Ernie Panikoli, or better known as Brother Ernie. And Brother Ernie is an amazing hip hop photographer. And in this book, he really highlights it. But something that's very, very special about this book is that these were all in the 80s and the 90s. And it was just such a really good era of hip hop. And he was able to get some of the most amazing photos. And for somebody like me who loves to shoot portraits, and especially on film, this is a great book to have to really get that inspiration to kind of look at what were some of the greatest photographers doing at that time where film was the only option. And I've really, really loved this book. I've probably gone through it maybe 20 to 30 times since I've had it, especially when I'm just relaxing, because it just gives a lot of emotion, from happiness to seriousness to it just really makes you feel in the moment when you're looking at some of these photos. And it is something that I personally try to do with my own work. So if you're definitely looking for a book for inspiration, and you're into music, or you're into hip hop, or you're into portraits in general, or just even let alone being into film photography, I would definitely recommend getting this book, because it is one that I do not regret. And it's a really, really thick book filled with photos. So it's not like one of those 5 to 10 pagers. We're talking 50 pages plus. So really, really enjoy this book, and it's definitely on my top 10 for now. Lastly, the last book I want to talk about is this book right here called A Beautiful Ghetto by Devin Allen. This book came out in 2017, and in this book, Devin Allen just does a really, really good job of just making you feel, you know, political activism amongst the Black community while also showcasing the beautiful life within the different ghettos. You know, this is a serious topic, but sometimes people just don't have the words to say. They just want to show you what it looks like. And this book really does move you. It gives a lot of emotions within the art. And the fact that all the photos in this book are in black and white really highlights the seriousness, but also the beauty in some of these very uncomfortable situations. I really enjoy this book, and I think it's something that you should really get, even if you're not into film, digital, it doesn't matter. And this book is extremely affordable, and I think that every photographer or anyone just interested in different atmospheres of life should really think about getting this book. With that being said, y'all, I'm really excited to be making some more photography videos for you all down the line. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have some of your favorite things that you purchased in the past month or the past few months, please feel free to share them. I always like to know what other people are buying because maybe I'm behind in the game, but these are some of the purchases that I've made and some of the ones that I've been really excited to have made. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and if you could do me a favor, please leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let's keep building this family. Road to 1,000. Thank you all so much, and until the next one, peace.
Alone with you, 'cause that makes sense. I wanna steal your soul and hide you in my treasure chest.
Hey yo, Pluto, you going brazen?
One life to live, and I'm living it. Show me your love, even just a little bit. Feelings drift in my mind, then I start to reminisce about the times, about the moments when we was kids. God forgive me for them stories I left in a ditch. I ain't the person I'm becoming, and I hate that shit. Was breaking houses, doing stick-ups as a little kid. Recently graduated.